Today I'll be creating with the Pink and Main STAMPtember exclusive for Simon Says Stamp and Pink and Main 2024. This is an adorable little set called Flurries of Love, and it's got all these sweet little snowmen and little snowflake details and really sweet little greetings. So the idea I have, we're going to get started with some stamping, and I'm going to be masking and creating some little friends coming out of the cup. So I'll start out here, and I'm just going to place this right in the center. And I do not have coordinating dies here in my studio, so I'm going to be fussy cutting today, but I'll show you it's actually pretty easy to do. I'm going to use Memento Tuxedo Black because I'm going to be coloring with Copic markers. And I'll give that a nice press, and I'll stamp it twice to get a nice impression. All right. And then I'm going to do a snowman and a penguin. But before I do, I have to put some masking material down here. So let me grab some of that. I'm going to use a small piece of masking magic. I like this masking material because it just doesn't tear the cardstock. And I don't even need a piece this big, but that's okay. Sometimes you gotta go all in. But let me place this down. Forgive my head. I want to put it right on the line like that. So you see a little of it showing. All right, press that down. And we're gonna take our snowman who's peeking over. Okay, this little guy here. And you want it to be, I guess, so that there's just a little, his hands can be right on that line. And I'm going to stamp this one first before I stamp the little friend. All right. And again, I'll just use the Memento and press. I don't want to squish it too hard. Oh, that's perfect. His little hand is splitting right on the line. But a couple presses should be good. And that looks great. Maybe a little more up top. There we go. And then we'll get his penguin friend. Now you can use any of these. Obviously, you could mask any of them, but I just thought the fact that these guys are looking over the edge of the cup, I think this is adorable. So we're going to get him as close as we can. Yeah, he'll be good there. Pick him up, or her, ink up, and press. And I'll do that a second time. The lines are kind of delicate, so I don't want to squish. I just want to get a nice little inky impression. I think that looks really good. All right, like that. All right, now I can get this cleaned up and I can color this in. And then all I have to do is peel away the masking magic, and you can see they are snugly tucked inside the cup. So now I'll speed things up a bit while I color in my little images. And I'm using some of the toner Copic family to do my hat and a little bit of the penguin's face. I think I got the hat a little dark, but you know, you don't know until you get in there. But one of the things I love about an image like the one I'm coloring is that you can include a lot of open white space. I'm not going to color much of the mug at all. I'm just going to focus on a few colors to add some fun and detail. So I'm using a T0 just for a little shadow here on their faces as well as on the side. And when I color with Copic markers, I don't know if you noticed yet, but I have replaced a lot of my chisel nibs with fine nibs. I've got them on my red pens here. You can see them pretty clearly. And it just helps me get into smaller places. However, I often go out of the lines, and here's an example where I take my Colorless blender number 0 and just go over some of the areas if I go out of the line. It kind of works like an eraser. But these nibs really do help if you love Copic markers, but you struggle with the brush tips. You can always replace the nibs and have these firmer, smaller tips to color with. Here I'm going with some of the BG colors. Oftentimes I'll keep common colors to keep things matchy-matchy. I'll just darken up the scarves and go ahead and add in the cheeks and the nose, and now we have all of the coloring done. And now that I know I've colored it decently, I am going to take this little greeting and stamp this right in the center. And I'm just going to stamp this in a little cube, because I like to stamp my greetings in cubes. And actually, I'm going to pop down this acetate real quick just to make sure that it stamps straight. Oh, let's see, can I do it that way? Sure. All right, let's just make sure that's in a, that's not really going to work, is it? How about that? Oh, that's going to look great. All right. Press and stamp it one more time, but not press too hard because it's such delicate little typography. Now, time to fussy cut. So oftentimes I will cut off excess paper, and then all I'm going to do is take my time and focus on turning the paper and not my scissors. And once you get into the groove, fussy cutting is actually pretty relaxing. I know that sounds strange, but I actually enjoy it during STAMPtember because I get a chance to, well, get my scissors skills back and leveled up. Right, and now I have my little friend cut. It's not the perfect fussy cut, but honestly, because I'm going to be putting this on a white note card, it's going to look great. And I like to use my Simon Says Stamp Teflon bone folder after I cut to go over the edges just to smooth everything out. It makes a big difference actually if you are fussy cutting, because then everything is straight and smooth. Now I want to show you something really fun for the card base. For a fun panel, I am going to create a wreath with some of the smaller elements from this stamp set. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take, well, I guess I could do it just on here, a couple little strips of adhesive. I'm going to line this up basically right in the center, and this is the 3 3/4 wide template. So I'm using the insert piece because this allows you to use the wreath builder and have your wreath be more centered. And that's what I'm going to do today. I've got that placed there. I am going to use this larger snowflake, and let's get this positioned, I guess right in the center. And I'll work my way around so that I have a fun little wreath. I'm going to stamp it in seafoam. Let's see, maybe up just a little higher. That. And we'll have a fun wreath before we know it. So ink, and I think I'm only going to stamp one time for each one. Just press, let it transfer, lift it up, and then you just rotate your wreath. So I just pick this up, turn it once, and this little stencil insert goes right back into place. Ink up the stamp and press. Of course, if you put the magnet down on the paper, you can hold it in place just to make sure it doesn't shift for extra stamping. But let me work my way around here and get the first part of the wreath done. All right, that completes the first part of the wreath, and I'm going to put it right back in this little center. I'm just going to show you what I'm thinking here because we're going to have this be right in the center. But one of the things I want to do is I want to have another part of the wreath filled in with, hold on here, we're going to have hearts, but I also want to have this little, I don't know, is it this little smoky thing coming up and out? And so I kind of want to have that just positioned in a way that it will come out and skip that part of the wreath. I think that's going to be kind of cute. So I'm going to pick this up and we'll stamp that in black ink. Just so I have a little smoke coming up and out. Maybe go twice. And then I'll do the rest of the wreath with a heart. And that way, boy, I'm getting ink all over myself. See how I've got my little smoky coming out there like that? Oh, I think it's so cute. And now we'll get the red heart, which I have used quite a bit here, and we'll just stamp this around using a nice red. This is going to be cherry. Well, actually, it's very stained, which actually helps you to place it. And that should be great. And again, just work my way around with one heart. And I'll finish the wreath and just leave that one with just the little smoke. And let me get this positioned onto a note card and we'll finish out the card. I popped the note card onto an Audrey blue card base, and then I'm just going to use these little tiny positively clear gems in the small size right in the center of each of the snowflakes, just to add a little shine. So I'll get my liquid glue, little dab, and boop, pop that right in. So you can see that little bit of smoke coming out. Boop, it's not smoke, it's steam. I keep calling it smoke. You know, it's steam. If there's smoke coming out of your cocoa, you know, you got to be careful. You got to be careful. But here, boop, going all the way around. Oh, little glue. Boop. 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 And the last one is here, and boop. And that way, I just wanted to show you how fun it is to create a little wreath with some of the smaller pieces. So that is my card project featuring the exclusive Pink and Main stamps, available while supplies last. You can find links to this stamp set in the YouTube description box, and we'll have more details on the Simon Says Stamp blog. Thanks so much for watching, and have a great day.
Hi there, I'm Heidi, Simon's mama and founder at simonsaysstamp.com. Thank you so much for watching our video. If you like what you just saw, be sure to press the thumbs up and subscribe to see more great content.